Hello YouTube, 잘 지내요? You might notice the background is much different than normal. Shh, don't tell anyone. I'm recording in my university. There's a very big reason why I am here and why I am recording at this location and overall why we're doing this video today. Because I got another hot tip for all of y'all coming to Korea. So let's get started. Universities in Korea are historically known for being over the top. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, I didn't really cover universities in Korea too much, but universities in Korea are some of the most beautiful, most amazing looking, over the top architecturally structured buildings that I've ever seen. Now, this is primarily for the top universities, mainly Seoul, Yonsei, and Korea University. However, almost every university falls under the category of just beautifully amazing. The architecture is amazing, the buildings are amazing, the space that they occupy is vast. Universities in Korea are just massive, and for whatever reason, this is my little strife, they're always built on a hill. Every single one of these universities are just on a hill, and so it's really frustrating to go to university in Korea because you're just climbing hills all the time. Korea University, hill. Yonsei, hill. Seoul University, even really bigger hill. It's a nightmare, but universities in Korea are something to visit when you come to Korea. You know, you might not think that. You might know, why should I go visit a university in Korea? What's the point? I don't go there, I don't go to school there. They're beautiful, they're amazing. Personally, I think Ewha and Yonsei are like two of the best looking ones in Seoul. But there are many to choose, many to go to. And personally, I did go to Korea University for 1 year as a transfer student. I didn't like that university very much, I'm gonna be honest. But anyways, despite my griefs with that university, it's still a very beautiful campus and highly, highly recommend visiting. Any one of these campuses, I highly, highly, highly recommend visiting, especially if you're going to Sincheon or Wangsimni. Hanyang and Yonsei are right there. They're very, very close, not too far away from the station. So it's pretty easy to get to from those. Other universities are a little harder to get to. Now, why am I talking about universities? Well, besides visiting them and taking pictures and looking, wow, the architectures are beautiful. Universities have one thing that they do each year. I think they do the event twice a year, but at least once a year, where they have these huge, huge, huge festivals. Like, I'm talking amazing festivals that spans a couple of days. It's usually during the week, 3, maybe 4 days, maybe the whole week. It does depend on the university and what they're doing. I remember when I went to Korea University, they did, I think it was a week long, but Yonsei University and Korea University are big known rival universities, so they always do competitions with each other and always trying to one-up each other. And the specific festival that I was at, or kind of loosely participated in, was a inter-college battle between the two universities where students of each university participated in many different events, sporting events mostly, like soccer, track, football, basketball, baseball, all the ball sports, and any other various activities, and they competed with those, so whoever won in the end was the better university. By win, I mean like who just scored the most points out of total all the games combined. And then it was just a big drink fest. The whole street was lined with students drinking, hooting and hollering. Grand time, super awesome time. Now, I didn't really participate much at that time because I was a little busy with other things, but I was able to walk around at night and kind of get a feel for the atmosphere. Now, I don't know if they still do that. I think they do, but the normal festivities are still just as amazing. Now, currently, Hanyang University is going through their festival week. I believe all universities kind of do it around the same time, if not the same week. But there's one big thing why this matters to you, to all of you traveling Seoul. Because the festivities invite famous artists from many different groups. For example, we're talking about aespa, we're talking about Hearts to Hearts, we're talking about All Day Project, and my personal favorite, Psy, Gangnam Style, goes to these universities. I don't know if he goes to all of them, but he makes a really good habit of trying to go to as many as possible. And it's free. It's completely free. There is no paid entrance to a lot of these festivals. Now, some schools might be a little bit picky in like who's there and who's not. Honestly, the stages themselves aren't super big, or at least they're big enough. And with Hanyang specifically, it's very easy to just go and watch. You don't even need to get a ticket. Now, I don't know if that's actually something that you need to get. I've seen people just walk in and go watch the concert and no one says anything, because it's a vibe. No one really cares, to be honest, as long as you're not really causing any problems or anything like that. But the only difference is that if you did get a ticket, you'll be much, much closer, like directly next to the stage, versus out in the stands where you're not as close. But still, honestly, even in the stands, you're still very, very, very close. And it's really not that big of a deal. Like I was walking around looking at the different events, and you can see how close you are versus how not close you are. And there's also a lot of freebies at these festivals. Like I got some free soda from Happy's and iced tea from Lipton iced tea. I was able to also get this free chocolate Bitcoin, which was pretty cool. So there's a lot of like free stuff to snag at the festivals themselves, just like any other normal Korean festival. But the thing that I can't stress enough, and the thing that is so important here, is the fact that they have these big K-pop artists that go to these universities. For the life of me, I can't understand why universities in America are just awful. They're the worst. Students are forced to pay thousands and thousands of dollars a year to get nothing out of it. We get a piece of paper that says that we finished school, and that's it. Now, don't get me wrong, there are events, there are club activities, there are stuff that you can do at university. I love my university, but there's no big events, at least not that I've heard of. Maybe, I mean, there's lots of universities in America, so maybe there's some university out there that does something, but I don't think any university does something on this scale where they have these huge artists come for free, okay? Again, I don't think students pay for these tickets, or if they do, it's very, very small fee. It might just be a queuing thing, but even if you didn't get the ticket, again, you can just walk in and watch for free. How many concerts can you say that you can go to and just not have to pay, just line up and watch? Like I can't even imagine that happening in America. To give some background for this is like, like if Taylor Swift went to a random university and just did concerts for free, or just went to any university, a couple of universities. It's such a grand scale that like it's completely incomprehensible that all these universities in Korea just get these artists to come in, and it's so cool. It's so cool. Again, each university does things slightly differently on how grand a scale it is. So if you go to Korea University, Yonsei University, like the top 3 universities, it might be harder to go in, but it's still possible. Now, the biggest issue is that I don't know if they really publicly announce when they do these festivals. In the university, they do. But as I know, university festivals are always around this time of year, and I think they do a second one later in the year in the fall season. So there's always a chance. So if you're coming to Seoul, if you're traveling to Korea, make visiting universities a priority if you're coming around this time in between May or in the fall season, maybe around September, October, around that time, because you'll definitely be able to see maybe one of your potential favorite K-pop artists for free or very close to free basically, and enjoy the good time with lots of cool people. Now, I know all of the people that are there are university students, but they're all super cool, they're all super nice, and it's such a good atmosphere. I cannot stress enough that it's one of the things that is low-key one of the greatest things to do when you come to Korea. It's unique. It's one of those things, it's unique. Not just visiting the university themselves or spending time in the area of the university themselves, but trying to go in and watch these festivals. I highly recommend that. So YouTube, that's my tip for you today. That's what I wanted to talk about for this week's video. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you got any more questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Otherwise, thank you for watching and see you next time for another awesome video.